Hello. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Uh, Post-lunch sessions are always challenging, mostly for the attendees. So, specifically, I'll take this opportunity to present a live demo. This demo is about an incident that occurred at the customer place. So, I'll be doing a demo using the packet capture. So, before even showing the demo, I'd like to set the context for this demo. So this is the Verizon data breach investigation report, which says that more than 84% of the attacks just takes minutes and seconds to compromise your site. And it's almost 70%, more than 78% of the attacks, it still remains undiscovered. So how do we sort out these issues? So before even sorting out the issues, we need to understand the root cause of the problems. The root cause of the problem could be our own network, internal networks, the email attachments coming in. A simple Google search can lead into a download of advanced threat. So before even solving the problem, we'll try to understand the right kind of architecture. So that's the reason I'm going to share architecture suggested by Gartner. Of course, I'm not going to present the whole architecture, but just a glimpse on the main statement made by Gartner. Gartner recently had announced something called as adaptive security architecture for the malware protection systems. And it says that shift your security mindset from incident response to continuous response. The systems are assumed to be compromised, and that requires continuous monitoring and remediation. So so being in line with this architecture, we have designed something called as Advanced Threat Protection Lifecycle Defense. So it evolves majorly into three main steps. So the first stage is specifically not only the blue coat appliances, but all the firewalls and the security defense systems in your network would block the known threats. And in the second stage, the unknown files and the programs will be detonated in a sandboxing environment where a dynamic analysis would be performed. So the verdicts of the dynamic analysis could be entirely new malware variant, which could be an advanced threat, so which now we have discovered by means of dynamic analysis. And we can use this intelligence to do a retrospective analysis of your already existing systems in the network. And finally, you can fortify your ongoing operations by means of blocking rules and policies. And at the same time, you can there's a mean of feedback loop to update the global threat intelligence systems. The global threat intelligence systems will then update your security systems to block such kind of new variants. So my final slide before starting the demonstration. So for confidential reason, I'm not sharing the customer name. So, but this is the packet capture collected from the customer environment. The customer has got an SIEM tool. It alerts a couple of viruses being blocked by their gateway-based antivirus firewall. And in fact, the advanced threats were not identified. And in seconds, in just a matter of seconds, it manifested into advanced attacks. Our security analytics platform, with the root cause analysis, we could find that there is some unique script and a PDF file, normal PDF file with embedded JavaScript being downloaded. And once we have investigated that, we can do a root cause analysis on the domain name or the referrer, because there could be a couple of chain of referrals to this domain, which we need to understand and then block it. So let me start the demo. I'll use this packet capture. So this is the summary dashboard of the SIEM tool, this is an ArcSight tool. So you see here, within a time frame of just seconds, there are a couple of events being reported, the viruses, there are known threats which are being blocked. So are you sure that while seeing these alerts, your internal host is good enough, clean, or there's no unknown threat which has skipped through? Just looking at these logs, you'll not be able to make it out. So let me use the integration commands with a security analytics platform. I'll use the integration commands and select on Solera Networks, the security analytics platform. And what I'm doing is actually downloading the PCAP of within this specific time frame, which has the recording for the entire conversation, the sessions recorded between these two hosts. So I'll just click on OK, and I'll pivot into the the GUI of the security analytics platform. I'll log in, and this dashboard shows me with a couple of widgets. I think the screen is not clear, but let me tell you, this provides you with an overall view of all these sessions between these two hosts, the host under question. And it has a couple of widgets which provides you with reports on the file types, the file names. It has the reports on the thread blades. The thread blades provides you with the number of threads being downloaded by means of email attachments or by accessing a URL. Or there are different kind of views. So I can change this view to add a couple of other widgets. But at this point of time, I'll specifically go ahead with the investigation. And if I look at the file name widget, this count 13.php. There are 328 PHP files being downloaded. Why the hell someone has downloaded 328 PHP files? Although I can have a standalone program using a PHP, but I will not require so many PHP files to run into a command line and execute a standalone program. So let me investigate this. I'll click on the extractions tab, and this will provide me with all the sessions between the host which we are investigating. And this is in the order of chronological view. It's in the order of the time of the occurrence. So you see all these PHP files. It's just every session is within a time frame of just a fraction of a second, and there are a couple of GET requests, and each session is not lasting more than a fraction of a second, and it's less than a kilobyte. So these kind of GET requests are normally abnormal. This is not a manual GET request. It is some kind of automated script. It exhibits a botnet behavior. So actually, the script is trying to find an active malware network to download this PHP file. So I'll add a filter to specifically see the file types being downloaded. So I'll click on the file type, and the filter would be file type contains. This shows me all the file types being downloaded. Actually, the screen is not clear, but it presents you with the complete octet streams. The octet streams is very important because if someone is using a Yahoo Mail or a Gmail to upload attachment, it converts that into an octet stream, which can be only opened by that specific program. The octet streams were specifically designed by Microsoft to natively open the files in the Word-based or the Excel-based applications. Now, for the demonstration purpose, the point of interest for me here is the PDF. This is the PDF file being downloaded. There are actually two integers. The first integer shows me the MIME type being presented, and the second integer is the MIME type being identified by the security and analytics platform by computing the magic bytes. And I'll investigate this PDF file. I'll click on the first session, and this PDF file, I'll preview what this file is all about. So once I preview, you see there is a JavaScript inside this file. Now, JavaScript inside a file could be a part of, the programmer's own COM interface library, but it could be also abnormal. So we're not still sure about the capability of this file. I'll close this artifact view, and now I'll try to find the reputation of this file with multiple third-party sources. So I'll just find the reputation. So you see the reputation from VirusTotal, which includes 40 different vendors. So all are saying it is a positive verdict, malware verdict. Now let's imagine a scenario where all these reputation providers are saying they don't have any information about this kind of sample. So what needs to be done then? So under this situation, I'll select the file and detonate that into a malware analysis appliance. We can integrate this into many available sandboxes. Malware analysis appliance is the sandboxing solution from Norman Shark acquired by Blue Coat. So I click on this and it shows me a high risk score of 6 and it says it is an SSDT hook. So SSDT hook is a system service dispatch table. It has got all the pointers to your kernel functions. So once someone has hooked that dispatch table, he can take the complete control of your system. It's specifically, these kind SSDT hooks are used in case of the polymorphic patterns. So the derivative remains undisclosed, the actual asset remains undisclosed, and they actually show up the variants which is actually used to identify the security strength of your systems. And then they will create a trampoline function to first execute those overwritten bytes and then call the kernel function. So you can take the complete control of the system. So now I want to investigate further, like why someone has downloaded such kind of file. I would like to do a retrospective analysis of why someone downloaded this and why our firewall systems or IPS or the web security systems has not blocked this. So I'll clear this filter, and to do this, I will clear this conversation. Now I'll like to see only the sessions initiated by the internal host only. I'll update this, and it will show me all the sessions in the chronological order of this internal host. Before that, I forgot to show you one thing. So once we have detonated this in the sandbox and we know that this is a positive verdict, this is an SSDT hook, now I need to understand the root cause. I'll click on the root cause explorer because this is very important because if you see the URL or the URI, it's some vague domain name, and this is not actually the root domain which is causing the problem. It could have chain of referrers pointing you to this specific, URI. So I'll click on the root cause explorer and show you all the artifacts. And at the very top, it shows me the root domain which has caused this chain of referrals. The root domain is setonyouthshelters.org. Now I'd like to investigate why someone visited this site. I'll do a retrospective analysis. I'll clear this filter. And I'll see only the conversation. I'll clear this entire conversation and only see the session, entire session of this internal host. Now that we know that Seton Youth Shelter was the root domain, I'll click on that and preview it. So once I preview it, it tells me actually it's a request to a Russian site. Okay. So I'll close this artifact view and I'll see why someone was redirected to this site, Seton Youth Shelters. Actually, if you see the very first session, someone has done a Google search on Seton Youth Shelters. So let me see this web page. I can reconstruct the web page and see that someone is trying to find shelters for underprivileged youth under crisis, food and home for the youths under crisis. So it could be just a part of his social activity, and he's downloaded an unknown variant. So so before even creating the blocking policies, you need to have a complete visibility. and the real-time extraction capabilities of the security analytics platforms can provide you with, on-the-wire file-level visibility of malware infiltration and data exfiltration. So there are many other reports, but the time constraint doesn't allow me to do this. If you have any questions on this product, I'd like to share more reports on this, but the time doesn't allow me. If you have any questions on this, you can definitely contact me. My team is there around here, and I'll be more than happy to answer this. Thank you.